Speaker.
Derek Ball.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to rise on behalf of New Zealand First to speak on the children and young persons and their families Oranga Tamariki legislation bill. At this stage, New Zealand First will not be supporting this bill for one very good reason, and I think it's no secret that New Zealand First has made it quite clear that we will not be supporting any move of the youth justice age and youth court age to include 17-year-olds. And I'll get into that in a second, sir, but I think I need to address a couple of things that are of concern. The first one is that this afternoon, the Minister of Social Development had a briefing with the Labour Party spokesperson for social development on this bill, on these matters that are going to be happening in this bill. New Zealand First wasn't there. We weren't invited to that briefing. You might say, Mr Naylor, but this is why the people of New Zealand are sick and tired of the Pepsi and Coke pendulum swing that we've got.
That's right.
You know, the minister might think, or the minister might not realise that it's election year next year, or maybe she's just too arrogant to understand that perhaps the Labour Party isn't the only party she needs to be briefing. But I digress, sir. So what I think, I'll move on to the point I was going to make in detail about the reasons why we've got issues with the youth court age being increased to include 17-year-olds. But before I do, I think I need to address the main issues that the Labour Party and that the Green Party have been spouting that they've got an issue with, and that's in the Maori Party as well, which is the provision whereby the paramount importance of decisions that are made by the state should not be the care and protection of the children, because that's what they're saying. What it should be, this is what the Labour Party, the Green Party and the Māori Party are saying, that what should be priority of paramount importance is where that child is placed, and that child should be placed back into family, iwi, whānau, o hapu. That's what they're saying should be number one importance. 63% of children in the care system are Māori. So why hasn't that provision worked yet? Why hasn't that provision worked yet? The fact of the matter is that the Maori Party, the Green Party and the Labour Party, the Maori Party, the Green Party and the Labour Party are living in some dream world where in the ideal world that all Māori children should be living with their Māori family. And of course they should, and ideal world they should. But that's not the ideal world, sir. That's not the facts. The facts are we've got foster kids like Ron Mark, who grew up in a foster family with Pākehā parents. Not because he was forced there, but because the Pākehā parents were the ones willing to stand up and look after him. That's why. If the tangata whenua were so keen on looking after their children, why aren't they doing that now? Why aren't they doing that now? This is the reason why we've got issues in this country in regards to the care and protection of our children. I think that the Labour Party, the Green Party and the Maori Party need to wake up, come off their dream cloud and understand the reality of care and protection of our children. Stop it. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. Grow up. Sir, I'd like to think that I made New Zealand First position clear on that point. I'd like to move on to another point that we are just as passionate about, and that is the youth justice age, youth court age. For the last 18 months, 2 years, I've been standing up in this House and in the media and everything else and saying that this youth justice system is failing. And yet we've got the Minister of Social Development standing up and saying that she has the research that backs up her claims that 17-year-olds will be better off in the youth justice system. Well, I say table it. I say, where is that research? I ask the Minister if part of her research is asking the frontline police the youth aid officers who work with these youth daily. And I can guarantee you it wouldn't be. I can guarantee it wouldn't be, sir. 75% of frontline police officers do not want the youth court age to change. 75%. Does the government listen? No. 55% of the youth aid officers that deal daily with these youth do not want the youth court age to change. Does the government listen? No. The government wonders why there are accusations from the public that they're so far out of touch. And then the Labour Party wonders why there's all these accusations, why they're so far out of touch.
Oh no, oh no.
Oh yes. Oh yes, oh no I'm not. Oh no I'm not. Oh yeah, no, you're right. 23% means you're really in touch there. 23%. Sir, if the Minister is standing up, and saying that a 60% reoffending rate in the youth justice system is a good thing, and they want to include more 17-year-olds with that, then I beg to differ. If this government is serious in talking about early intervention, then why have they not focused at all on the family court and child offenders? Every single 14-year-old in the youth justice system that goes to the youth court has been a child offender. The fact is that currently the family court has no power. They have no room of intervention for the 10 to 13-year-olds. That's where we need to start focusing, sir. But this government, the Labour Party, the Green Party have ignored that fact, have ignored it, sir. We've got a youth justice system that is failing. We've got 40% of all youth offenders that are in the youth justice system have offended 3 or more times. That's not a successful youth justice system. 14% of individuals, youth offenders, in the youth justice system have offended 6 or more times. The fact of the matter is, the tragic fact is that this government has stood up and talked about family group conferences being the cornerstone of the youth justice system. The fact is 80% of youth offenders don't go into court, so they don't get through the FGCs. And when they do go through the FGCs, they've got 80% reoffending rate, an 80% reoffending rate. And yet we want, apparently the government wants to increase the youth court age to include more young people, so it can fail more young people. This government has just spent $1 billion or going to spend over $1 billion on a new prison. The fact of the matter is, sir, that half of all our current adult population have gone through youth court previously. Half of all the current adult prison population have gone through the youth court. If the youth justice system was working, if the youth court was working, we wouldn't have half the adult prisons that we do now. We wouldn't be at to spending $1 billion on new prisons that we are now. But instead of looking at the facts, the government stands up and all the other opposition parties stand up on ideological grounds, speaking just rhetoric and that are bereft of fact. Because if they did have a look at the facts that we have to deal with, sir, that the frontline police have to deal with, that people who work with these young people day in, day out, they will know that it is not the right decision to increase the youth court jurisdiction to include 17-year-olds. Sir, I am more than looking forward to the different stages progressing through the House, and especially the Select Committee process, sir, because I've got a ton of questions. New Zealand First and New Zealand First want some answers, especially in regards to the youth court age changes that this government wants to. But at this stage, we will be not supporting this bill, sir, for the reasons that we have set out. Thank you.